receiver talent. In this video, we are going to be talking about the 2027 NFL Draft wide receiver draft class. All right, B-Ross, wide receiver draft class. The way this video is going to work, we're doing things a little different around here. We're going to start off by previewing some highlight names we really want to get into the works with. And then at the end of this live, we're going to be talking about our top 10 wide receivers in the 2027 draft class. Before we get started, B-Ross, per usual, how's your day going?
I'm good, man. I'm really excited to talk about these receivers because, man, we got some studs in this group.
100%. All right, guys, we are going to start with Ryan Williams. Ryan Coleman Williams, 6 foot, 182 pounds, somebody who broke out as a young freshman at Alabama, made the big play versus Georgia. Sophomore year was not as pretty as the freshman year. He still had a productive season. I mean, he still had over 650 yards, 49 catches, but man, he really struggled in a lot of different ways this year. Still a 19-year-old player, still a lot to like about him, but Ryan Williams, playmaker, speed, athleticism. You can give him a screen, he can take it 100 yards. He can be a deep shot guy. He's got a lot of things he's need to clean up on, but the profile is pretty sharp on this guy. Again, we're talking 6 foot, probably about a $180. I think there's some comparisons that you could make to like a Jamison Williams. Now, Jamison's a little bit bigger, a little bit heftier, and was just a better player at times, but he's getting kind of to that level of being somebody who can be a productive player, who can, use that speed and athleticism to eliminate angles. And I think his game still has barely touched the surface of where he can actually go. In terms of like some weaknesses to his games, I think they're pretty clear and obvious. He had a lot of drops last year, concentration drops, just issues tracking the ball in general. He had over 10 drops last year, which has got to be cleaned up because it was the biggest Achilles heel from last year. The second thing is his production can be kind of up and down. There was times where Alabama would really feature him, and there's other times where he was non-existent out there, and guys, like Jeremy Bernard outplayed him, and he was better than him. Despite Ryan being more talented than Jeremy Bernard, Jeremy was just more available, more consistent than Ryan Williams. He struggles versus physicality. He's a lighter guy. Whenever you're lighter, you can get pushed around out there, and unless you got good contact balance or can fight through it, you're going to have some issues getting open. And all those things kind of came to fruition this past year where Ty Simpson just didn't really trust him, and he didn't really have a great role on that offense. It's going to be intriguing to see how this team uses him a bit more because, he only played 216 snaps in the slot, 172 out wide. Are we going to see him play more in the slot? We're going to see him a bit more on the outside. Let's bring in B-Ross here. B-Ross, Ryan Williams, great year in his freshman year, young, everyone loved the guy. And then year two, it's like the whole world just kind of hated the guy all of a sudden because he wasn't as good as his freshman year. Or maybe he wasn't as good. I might not be the right way to say it, but he didn't take the big step forward.
Yeah, no.
Right. I mean, people wanted to make the comparison to Jeremiah Smith, didn't quite get there. What are your thoughts on Jeremiah Smith or Jeremiah Smith? What are your thoughts on Ryan Williams, and where do you think he can get more production from?
Yeah, so watching his tape, like the first thing you notice is he didn't get stronger from his freshman year to his sophomore year, and it showed up on tape time and time again when he has to face physical corners or press corners on the outside. Alabama was either forced to put him in the slot or put him in motion because he struggled. But what he does have is speed. He can run with the best of them. To your point, Jameson Williams is a very fair comparison because when he was able to just use his speed and burst past guys, he could do it. Like he had the game versus Tennessee, he gave Colton Hood all kind of problems, who's a physical press corner, because he couldn't keep up. Like Colton Hood can run in his own right, but he can't keep up with a dude who's probably going to run low 4.3, high 4.2. But yeah, he dropped wide open touchdowns. He dropped just bubble slants, screens. It just concentration drops. And you saw later in the year, he struggled with confidence in his hands because he started body catching balls that didn't need to be. Like he was really concerned about dropping the ball. You could tell it was the thing either they were talking about. You could tell he was reading all the tweets and just all the reports about his hands and his regression. Like you can tell because he started catching the ball and fielding it differently. That being said, he's still a good player in his own right. Everything with him, to your point, is going to have to be like he's the guy. He has to play like the guy. In year one, I thought he played like he knew he was the guy. Year two, he played like I think I'm the guy, or I am this good, and maybe he start sipping the Kool Aid a little bit. Just man, he just start feeling himself a little bit, and it showed on tape. Like it wasn't the same guy. So yeah, like he's not a bad player. Like he's a good receiver. It's just he has to put it all together consistently. That's what makes good receivers great. Like as talented as he is right now, you would take him and put him as your 3 in the NFL and have him be a deep threat. That would be his role. No more, no less. Like he's a deep threat, take the top off. But yeah, he has to just he has to get stronger. He has, and to me, that would negate some of the drops because he's so small. He's 6 feet, buck 80, soaking wet on a good day. So yeah, I'm he was frustrating to watch because I thought he was better than that.
Yeah, Ryan is. People are going to want to profile him similar to like a Jeremiah Smith, when I don't think that's very fair because that was like the
Not
comparison
at
after
all.
his freshman year. But
Yep.
it's like Jeremiah Smith is just a different breed, is different style. Jeremiah Smith has a style that can become a number one option in the NFL. Ryan hasn't gotten there yet. He's
No.
still very undersized. He still has all these various issues to his game.
Yep.
But I mean, the flashes are very good. That game versus Wisconsin took a 75-yard pass bomb to the end zone. Like you said, the Tennessee game, he was very good in that one. But then there's also games against Oklahoma in the college football playoffs where
Went
he's
missing.
it's don't even know where he's out there. Like he's
Yep.
just gone quiet. And I felt like it felt like for me, Alabama just kind of realized their offense was better when they weren't focused on getting Ryan Williams the ball. It
Yep.
felt like there was some maybe a bit of pressure earlier in the season to, hey, let's make sure Ryan is very involved in the game plan.
Right.
And it just wasn't working, right? The team wasn't playing well when unfortunately Ryan was kind of the focal point of the offense. It was actually better when they started going to like Jeremy
German
Bernard and
Bernard. Yep.
the other guy that I think went to A&M. So I think Ryan Williams is a long way to go. The talent is clearly there. He can be that guy that, okay, we got a big perimeter outside weapon. We have Puka Nakua, Devontae Adams. We need that guy in the slot who can take the top off
He
the
would be
defense. We need that
right.
guy. He'd be unbelievable there. Somebody who can
Yep.
take a screen to the house. That's Ryan Williams' role in the NFL. It's just going to be about, are you okay taking somebody that is a little bit kind of gadgy right now and taking that in the back of round one? I think that there would be teams in there because Zachariah Branch, no disrespect, Zachariah Branch went to the Falcons in round two. And we're talking about
He's the
somebody
same
that
guy.
is the biggest gadget in the world. Yeah, he's the same guy, but he's
He's the
like
same guy.
5'9", not even 6 foot,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So a lot to like about Ryan. I'll kind of end this off here with Ryan, and I'll ask you this question. Do you want to see him play more in the slot this year, or do you want to see him play more on the outside? Because it felt like that was a big discussion point. And as the
He,
year went on, it felt like they just had no clue what to do with him in Alabama.
he should play outside more because I don't think guys can run with him really. Like in the slot, you allowed like it's nickel, it's safety, it's eyes on you because like you're a focal point. At the X or the Z, if a guy misimpress, he's done. It's one on
Stud,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like leave him outside and let him work outside because the one thing with guys with speed, what they always have is the fact that when they're working back to the ball, guys are terrified of getting beat deep. So 12 to 15 yards and the curl comebacks, outs, digs, those are open because I'm not giving up this post or this go ball. So me personally, I would let him play primarily outside. I would move him inside for certain plays and things like that, just to get different looks and different coverages. But you're talking about a dude who can drag two people with him because you don't want him just running past your defense. So I would play him outside.
All right, guys, let us know in the comment section below. Ryan Coleman, yeah, add the Coleman in there now. Ryan Coleman Williams, where does he go in this year's draft class? What are your thoughts? Let us know down below. All right, guys, we are now going to move over to wide receiver Nick Marsh, formerly Michigan State, now at Indiana. Nick Marsh, somebody who went from Michigan State to Indiana, a system that I think is going to be significantly better for him. Talking about somebody that grew up in Michigan, decided, you know what, I'm going to stay at home. I'm not going to play in the yellow and blue of Michigan. I'm gonna go play in the green and be a Spartan at Michigan State. Unfortunately, didn't work out for him. There's a couple guys who transferred out. The school just didn't really do him any favors. The quarterback play wasn't as good. The team around him wasn't very good. That all said, he still put together some very productive seasons there at Michigan State, despite playing in circumstances that were not particularly great. Back-to-back years, over 40 catches. This past year, 59. 662 yards this year, 649 the year prior, 9 total touchdowns through 2 years, has been an explosive playmaker. And let me tell you something about Nick Marsh. Man, I love his game. 6'3", 203 pounds. He's the kind of prospect that, you know, when we're in the conversation in this draft class, you got your Jeremiah Smiths, you got your Cam Colemans, you got these big, freakish receivers. Nick Marsh is one of these guys that I think could put his name kind of in that same bucket. Again, 6'3", 203 pounds, great length, great catch radius. He's explosive. Like, he is very explosive. He gets off the brakes. He is moving downfield. I think he's a sudden route runner with a good polished route tree that, he can use some head fakes. He uses his hands well. He creates separation very well. Uh, Very good with the ball in his hands, can make people miss. He's somebody kind of like a Ryan Coleman Williams where you can give him a screen and he's not afraid to make guys miss. He's really good at, driving those legs, pushing through contact and stuff like that. He can use his frame to shield defenders. And we're talking about one of the highest ceilings in this year's draft class from this wide receiver group, where he does fall a little bit short. And I think it's going to be perfect for him at Indiana. Number one, he is like a nothing as a blocker right now. He just doesn't have the physicality nor the effort. He's very inconsistent at tracking the ball, and especially in contested situations. It got worse from his freshman year to his sophomore year. At Indiana, you're talking about a coaching staff that you have Charlie Becker, who I love Charlie Becker. I mean, that guy is a contested catch fiend, back shoulder fades, all that stuff. Nick Marsh is going to learn a lot from this offense because they like to do that type of stuff. You watch both the wide receivers that were drafted this past year. Both those guys thrived in contested situations, thrived with the ball in their hands. Now you have this Indiana duo of Nick Marsh, Charlie Becker, two bigger athletic guys. Becker, kind of a thicker built guy, but Nick Marsh's ceiling is absolutely through the roof. And I think him transferring to Indiana was not only a great decision from Indiana to get a talented player, but it was a great decision for Nick Marsh to continue to evolve and grow his game. Nick Marsh in Indiana is going to be maximized. Let's bring in Mr. Brandon Ross, Mr. B. Ross, Nick Marsh, somebody who is very high on both of our top 10s. We'll talk about our top 10s here in a second. Very high on our top 10s. He is a great football player. What are your thoughts on Nick Marsh? Where do you think he works at with Indiana, and what do you think about him?
Yeah, man. No, he's big. He doesn't necessarily play to his size all the time, hence the issues with the contested catches. But he's a smooth route runner. I like the way he can for a taller guy. Like, taller guys have trouble dropping their weight because they're taller. But he's like our top three, whom we'll talk about later. Like, them guys are smooth and fluid for guys their size. And to your point, he's explosive out of those breaks. He knows how to create separation. So I don't think he will see as many contested balls as Charlie Becker. Charlie Becker struggles at the top of routes, creating that same separation. Nick Marsh can pull away from you a little bit. He has a longer stride, a little bit more turnover when he breaks and bursts, but really good football player. And then he comes into a place where he might be wide receiver one, might not be, but he won't command double teams the same way. You know what I mean? So he's, to your point, going to Indiana was a great call because you're going somewhere with more talent around you. Now you get just more true one-on-ones downfield. So he might be better making those contested catches. I just wish he played stronger at times for a guy his size. Like, some of the balls he missed, some of the balls he dropped, I think he should make those plays. And I think he will. To your point, Indiana does a good job with guys who play that same style of ball because Charlie Becker is probably the best at making those contested back shoulder catches and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really like Nick. I really like Nick Marsh's game. It'd be interesting to see how they deploy him because at State he played almost like exclusively outside. I think he needs to get some work in the slot, just to have on his resume to show that he can do it. Like, all good receivers show that they can do inside and outside. I would like to see him play a little bit more in the slot, not exclusively, but show that he can do it. Be a big slot target for Josh Hoover. But Nick Marsh he is a talented young man. I mean, like, he has, to your point, to me, he has probably some of the like highest upside, just
Yeah.
because he really hasn't tapped into his ceiling yet. And now
No.
we're talking about playing with better talent. It could be scary. Indiana could be right back to where they were last year.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about this year's draft class. It's interesting when you compare it to the 2026 draft class. 2026, there wasn't a lot of height in some of these receivers, right? There was Casey
Yeah.
Concepcion around 5'11", Omar Cooper around
Omar Cooper.
5'11".
Yeah.
A lot of these guys were on that 6 foot to 5'11" range. This 2027 draft class has like
Yeah.
very
They
good
got.
body types, bigger
Mm-hmm.
physical guys. Jeremiah
Yeah.
Smith 6'3", 220. Cam Coleman 6'3", 200. Nick Marsh 6'3", 200. Even guys like Bryant Wesco, KJ Duff 6'6",
Yeah.
TJ Moore, Charlie Becker 6'4". A lot of guys with a bit more size and athleticism to their games. Now there is some younger guys or some shorter guys in here too, like a Ryan Coleman Williams, like a Mario Craver, Mike Matthews around 6'1". So various different body types. But the NFL, like when you think about who are the top guys in the NFL right now, you got Justin Jefferson, you got Jamar Chase, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got George Pickens, you got DK Metcalf, those type of guys. A lot of different sizes and of different
Yeah.
profiles. CeeDee Lamb's like 6'1", Jamar Chase around 6', 6'1". Then you have
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, who's like 6'4" or 6'3", and a guy like Nick Marsh in a league that has really been focusing in on finding guys that have versatility and athleticism. And hey, can you play some slot? Can you play on some outside? You talked a bit earlier about how Nick Marsh can maybe even grow a little bit from playing in the slot. I think that is definitely the case because he has the potential to play on the outside, be a physical threat out there. But if he can grow that ability to be able to work inside the slot, I mean, we're talking about somebody who could be drafted way higher than where he's currently at on consensus boards. Because right now, like Smith and Coleman, Jeremiah and Cam Coleman, those guys are going to go top 15, top 20. But then there's a huge kind of gap there or a bit of a void of like who is going to be that third guy? Is it going to be Bryant Wesco? Will it be Ryan Williams, Amari Miller, or could it be Nick Marsh? Marsh might have the most talent out of all those guys. I mean, his talent is unbelievable.
Fair.
And I think he at Indiana is just going to be maximized. You're talking about like a coaching staff that took Cal quarterback Fernando Mendoza, some JMU guys, and Elijah Surratt and these guys. And not only did they win a national championship, they had the number one pick. They had Omar Cooper drafted round 1, and Elijah Surratt was a third or fourth round pick, maybe a fifth rounder, which he should have been drafted higher. I thought he was great. I thought it was fifth. I could be wrong, but yeah, I think you pair now Nick Marsh with Charlie Becker. I mean, Josh Hoover's a good quarterback too. Like he is somebody that can actually play a little bit. So, any final thoughts on Nick Marsh before we move on, though?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, to me, he's really going to benefit from just not being the only real guy. Like that's the nature of playing with more talent on offense. Like you can't just hone in on just me. Why? Because we can run it. Our quarterback can spread it around, and Kurt Signetti is still like like a damn good play designer, play caller. So yeah, I think Nick Marsh going to Indiana was a great move for both of them. It's a win-win for both of them.
100%. All right, guys, let us know in the comment section below. Nick Marsh, is he wide receiver 3? Where is he currently at on your big boards? Let us know down below. All right, everyone, let's move on now to the next player. Mr. Cam Coleman, transferring from Auburn, now over to the Texas Longhorns. Somebody who grew up in Alabama, probably wanted to play in Alabama, playing in the home state, decided to go to Auburn. We all knew that wasn't going to last very long. They just don't have the quarterbacks there. They have the uniforms. They have the mascot. Got a lot of good things going for him. And unfortunately, just never worked out. So he transfers now over to the Texas Longhorns, where he gets to play on one of the most stacked offenses in the country. Arch Manning, Ryan Wingo, Emmett Mosley. Who else they have? 2 NFL running backs, Hollywood Smothers, Raleek Brown. And of course, somebody who could end up being the number 1 pick, Mr. Arch Manning. Cam Coleman, 6'3", 201 pounds. I think the best way to just kind of like, if you're looking for sort of an NFL player who he plays like, it might be unfair to even set the expectations this high. He reminds me a lot of George Pickens in some ways. Big frame, kind of a longer, lengthier guy, athletic, wins those contested situations. He does all that stuff. Now, Auburn never fully maximized him. Number one, because they had really nothing to play for at times. That team was bad by the end of the season. And so you can kind of tell that, like, the motivation to play well was a little bit lessened. But quarterback play really let him down. Coaching was always an issue with him. And even though he still put together very productive seasons, 708 yards this past year, basically 600 the year prior, he did so with horrible quarterback play. It always felt like with Cam Coleman, man, he's leaving stuff on the table. If he goes to Texas and maximizes, which he should be able to do, it's going to be a beautiful thing. I think the best way to kind of start off with him is you talk about the frame and the size. 6'3" with very long arms. He's a good athlete, sudden mover. His route tree is a little limited right now. Auburn did a lot of go routes, some digs, some slants, nothing really too complex. I think Texas will start to open it up a little bit more because they like to run, post, some, slug, all sorts of routes, right? They're going to do a lot of things with them. And, we talked about Nick Marsh and how Nick Marsh potentially could play a bit in the slot. Texas probably won't use Cam a ton in the slot, but I wouldn't be surprised they try to give him some reps in there as well, just to kind of overall smooth out and refine his game even more, because this is somebody who can be a wide receiver too. Tracks the ball very well, elite catch radius, contested catch phenom, good with the ball in his hands. He gets separation just off of how fast and big he is. He's tough to get hands on because he's a very shifty, explosive athlete. And Arch Manning showed in his second year at Texas, and more specifically, his first year starting last year at Texas, the dude likes to sling the rock down the field. He wants to air the ball out, throw it down the field. And last year at Texas, Arch didn't really have that consistent guy who could win downfield. DeAndre Moore, more of a slot, more somebody who's going to work the intermediate or underneaths. Ryan Wingo, more of an athlete, not really a refined route runner or anything like that. Emmett Mosley struggled to stay healthy. There wasn't that guy that could win down the field. But now you have that guy here in Cam Coleman who can win down the field. You could throw some deep bombs to. I expect Cam Coleman to be in for a big year. I think anything less than 800, 900 yards would be pretty disappointing. But let's go ahead and bring B-Ross in. Obviously, you guys see the little flag right here. You guys know us a little bit. We like them Texas Longhorns. They are a good football team. So, but per usual, we always try to take the bias out of the scouting. Yeah, we're Longhorns fans, but he played for Auburn last year. So we're going to be critical of that tape. B-Ross, what are your thoughts on Cam Coleman? How do you think he fits the Texas offense? And what's his ceiling as a prospect?
Yeah. You're talking about a freak athlete, like for real, like basketball type vertical bounce with like explosiveness. Like he has it physically. Auburn didn't really get it out of him because inconsistent quarterback play, inconsistent offensive play as a whole. He's a real X. He can track the ball deep. He can play deep. He can play above the rim, which to me does like that is even taps into his like real athleticism because as a route runner, to me, he can separate at all three levels. He can create separation vertically, horizontally at all three levels. Now, to your point, he does have to like he has to be given the opportunity to more to run more routes because they did the same stuff kind of over and over, and it worked for him and it worked for that offense the best it could. But I think he is going to be a problem. I think he's going to be a problem in the red zone, especially because it's going to eliminate some of the thinking. Oh, I have 1-on-1. I'm taking two shots here. Like I have a real dude who can go and win those balls. Like that's where his immediate value lies. In the red zone, I'm getting touchdowns. He should. You're talking about 800-900 yards. If he has anything less than 1,000 yards this year, I would be surprised. He should have 1,000 yards, probably 7 to 10 touchdowns, like minimum. Now, because Texas is super loaded on offense, but he should get the ball a fair amount. But with that being said, he does have some stuff to work on. He did have some drops last year. He had some fumbles and critical moments. So he's still a young prospect in that regard, but it's all correctable stuff to me because the athlete in itself is like really good. He has to get better at in critical moments and key moments, and he's going to play in a lot more of those this year in key games, critical moments where they're going to need him to just like schedule's tough. Texas is a hunted team now. Like, granted, they only they didn't win a conference or anything. That they're going to be a top 10 team again this year with a target on their back. And Cam Coleman got probably a big check from Texas. Like, it's just already added pressure, right? And you're playing with probably a top 5 pick on offense, another top 5 pick on defense. Like, it's all eyes are on this team. I think Cam Coleman has it in him, but in critical moments this year coming up, he has to show that he can be Arch's safety net. He can be, relied upon because he had some drops and some fumbles last year, again, in critical moments where you had a chance to maybe get in field goal range, win a game, and he didn't play up to that standard. But good player. I think he needs to play more physical in the run and screen game, which I think Texas will get out of him because they are good. They're a good screen team. So he's going to have to get better at it. It's not an if and a but. Like Sark required, like you have to be able to block on the perimeter to play for Sark. He's an old school guy. No block, no rock. So like kind of guy. So I think he'll play better in that regard. But he's a freak athlete with all the ability in the world. He just has to. It has to all kind of come together week to week for him because again, you can't double him and leave Wingo or leave the box light like you can't. So he's going to get his opportunity. He just has to take full advantage of them.
Yeah, this is a draft class where Jeremiah Smith stands out amongst. He's the best player probably in this class. I think if you were to put together a big board of the past 3 draft classes from 2025, 26, and 27, I'd make the argument Jeremiah Smith's probably still number 1 out of all the prospects these past few years.
No.
Who would you put in front of him?
Caleb Downs.
I'd put Jeremiah Smith. I love Caleb Downs. I'm a Cowboys fan. But the point I'm making here is Jeremiah Smith is the best player in this class, at least up to this point. We got a whole other season. We'll see if that changes. Cam Coleman, if he has a big year, I don't think he'll ever catch Jeremiah Smith, but he's the only guy that can in this class. He's the only prospect that has the talent, the circumstances, the situation to somehow maybe be seen as maybe not consensus-wise, but on some people's big board
1B,
as 1A, 1B exactly.
If he,
I wrote that article on First and 10. It's a tough argument to make because Jeremiah Smith is a fantastic player and Coleman is a ways away. But if he hits his ceiling, which his ceiling is very high, I think there's at least an argument that could be made.
If Cam Coleman goes and has Politnikov numbers and Arch has Heisman type numbers, I think he dethrones him. But I think it's going to take a not super heroic, but it's going to take a big year because it's hard to say Jeremiah Smith not the best receiver in the class. He was the best receiver his freshman year. You know what I mean? That's you know what I mean. So to me, it would take a heroic type of season and just oh my god, we can't, bro. This is 1,700 yards, this is 20 touchdowns. We can't deny those numbers. So yeah, it would take something extraordinary like that for Jeremiah Smith to be dethroned as the number 1 receiver.
Yep, but the fact we're having those conversations is really good for Cam Coleman. His future's bright. Texas should be back this. They should be back. They've been back. Texas should be great this year, and Cam Coleman be a big part of it. Guys, let us know in the comment section below. Cam Coleman, how good is he? Where's he on your big board? Is there any chance he catches Jeremiah Smith? Let us know down below. All right, guys, one more before we get into our top 10s. Let's talk about Mr. Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith, the number 1 player in the 2027 NFL draft on firstand10.net. One of the best players we've seen in recent years. There's an argument to be made that he would have been the number 1 receiver in probably the past 3 draft classes. You put him in 24, you put him in 25. Well, 24, maybe there's an argument, but 25, 26, Jeremiah Smith goes number 1. Multiple years of high-level productivity. Freshman year, 1,300 yards. Sophomore year, 1,200 yards. And I think this year with Julian Sayin now in year 2, coming out the gates, playing a bit more smooth, he could be in for another 1,100 yard season. This guy's one of the best players in the country, not just this year, but he's been one of the best players in the country since the second he stepped on foot at Ohio State. 6'3", 223 pounds. You don't want to make a comparison to Calvin Johnson or Julio Jones because those guys are Hall of Famers. They've been all pros, Pro Bowls. You can't make that comparison yet. Jeremiah Smith hasn't played a snap in the league yet, so I'm not going to make that comparison. But if you're looking for somebody who, as a prospect, is close to those guys, I'm not going to compare him to Calvin Johnson. That guy was a freak. But Jeremiah Smith's kind of in that same realm as those guys. Again, 6'3", 223 pounds, proven productivity, just a rare combination of size, athleticism. He can threaten vertically. He can win physically. He's physically so dominant. Big catch radius. Good balance, especially when he's kind of chilling by the sideline. He can make those, toe drag swag plays. He can do that sort of stuff. Good route tree. Knows how to use his head, knows how to use his hands, knows how to break down and cut with ease. Consistent ball tracking, knows how to time his hands to not, you want to flash those late hands. He does all that stuff. He's a very advanced football player. He's been an advanced football player since the day one at Ohio State. He's just years beyond where he should be. And that's why you get the 5-star pedigree. That's why you go to Ohio State. That's why you get the hype you're getting. I think the biggest concerns for Jeremiah Smith has a lot to do with some of the reasons why Marvin Harrison hasn't quite worked out yet in the NFL. It's the fact that he's so much better and more physically dominant than these other guys that there's almost an over reliance on that instead of
Yeah.
being, the nuanced,
Technically
shifty,
sound.
that guy,
Yeah.
the guy that
Yep.
can create separation, technically sound type of guy, somebody who can do that stuff. He sometimes will rely a little bit more just on his overall physical dominance, which again, part of the reason why Marv hasn't quite taken that big step. But Jeremiah Smith, I mean, he's been everything and more of what you could expect. Coming from Miami, now going to Ohio State. There was some buzz about will he go back to Miami? That wasn't going to happen. This dude is he's at home. The guy could sit out the entire year. He'd still be probably a top 3 pick.
Top 5.
He'd be the first non-quarterback off the board. So that's my thoughts on Jeremiah Smith. Let's bring in B. Ross here. B. Ross, Jeremiah Smith. We've been talking about him since his freshman year. We've been talking about him in high school. This guy has been so good for so many years. And now it's just like, can we just get this college stuff over with so we can get in the NFL? Because we expect him to be the number, somewhere in the top 5 and instantly be a team's number 1 weapon. What are your thoughts on Jeremiah Smith? And towards the end of your conversation, where do you think he best fits in the NFL? What are some landing spots you'd like to see him land at? But first, Jeremiah Smith, what are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, no, talk about physically 6'3", 225. Like he's a big dude who plays big. He's strong. Like he has the making of a pro receiver. Like he had it at 18, which is scary because he had size and strength. That's like 90% of playing in the NFL. It's having size and strength, and not like being bulky. It's having strength to hold your ground versus press coverage and beat guys and be physical at the top of routes, things like that. He has all that. He has a great catch radius. Yeah, it's not too much he can't do. He does at times struggle with like guys who have size and length at corner. That is the one thing I have seen. Guys who can get physical with him, he hasn't really figured that part of his game out yet because to your point, he relies on his athleticism, size, and strength so much. And it's like, well, if you're only 5'10", 5'11", and you're smaller than me, I can outmuscle you. At some point, physics just wins. That's just the way life is. And he relies on that. So when he sees guys his size in terms of strength-wise, he can struggle versus press, but you're talking about a dude, who would have been a top 5 pick in probably the last 2 drafts. Like just call him spade a spade. Like he's that talented. What would be interesting to see is just how, because Ohio State is loaded with talent always and forever at that position. So they have another young core, and it'd be interesting to see how teams play him. Like, are they going to say, you won't beat us, someone else has to beat us, or is it going to be just kind of like, normal defenses with a couple roll coverages? Like me personally, I'm doubling it. Like he won't beat me. Someone else has to beat me. Like number 4 can't beat you. Granted, you think that would be the case, and 4 still beats them. Indiana rolled out there with D'Angelo Pons. Granted, Pons kind of he held his own, but it's like you're playing a dangerous game with a dude who can, at any point in time, he can score a touchdown. And it's not it's not a screenplay. No, he can run past you. He can run through you. He can take a slant 80. Like he has very little holes in his game. Soft hands, great catch radius. Like as I just like it's I don't. Like he is hard to watch and evaluate because you have to be critical of him. And physically, he's not being tested enough for you to really be critical of his play because he don't see guys who can just match up with him. Like this dude worried about passing a history final, and he got Jeremiah Smith on Saturday. Like, damn, bro. Like this is what, man. I'm trying to stay eligible, and I got Jeremiah Smith this week. Like, come on, bro. So yeah, it'd be interesting. Have
you seen that video of I don't know who their week 1 player opponent is, but there's like this corner from like a small like Troy University that's over there in the weight room doing curls, and they're like hyping up. They're like, "You got Jeremiah Smith week 1, buddy." He's just doing curls and stuff. That he's up to that point where it's like, when we talked about like LeBron in high school, where it's like, oh, you got to face LeBron after taking math quizzes.
Yep.
Jeremiah Smith's the same thing.
Jeremiah Smith, exactly.
Let me ask you this:
What's up?
his through 2 years, and he's going to face these two teams again this year. Texas and Michigan, while they haven't stopped him completely, they've slowed him down, right? Versus Texas this past year, 6 for 43. Versus Michigan this year, 3 for 40. In 2024, Texas played them in the playoffs. He was
Yeah,
1 for 3 in that game. And then versus Michigan, he was 5 for 35. Those are the two teams that feel like have his number a little bit in terms of how they can slow him down. Now, I'll say
yeah.
this as Texas fans, we can all tell you, ain't no bullshit around here. There wasn't a corner on Texas that could one-on-one this man the entire
That
game.
can
So
guard
it
him.
was
That's
right. So there was corner and
yep.
safety help every single time, linebacker help. Do you think that, and you talked about this earlier, that every team is just going to do this? Because I looked at the depth chart for Ohio State and who they currently have. They have Brandon Inniss, they have Devin
Mm-hmm.
McQueen, I don't know who that is, and then Chris Henry Jr., five-star freshman. But
Yeah.
there's not a Cardinal Tate, there's not a Emeka Egbuka, there's not the same, you know what I'm saying? Do you think that you're going to see teams watch that Texas and Michigan tape and say, we will do that exact same thing? Safeties over top, linebackers helping, all that sort of stuff, which, by the way, should have been doing that since game one of his freshman year.
Day one.
Do you think they'll start to do more of that stuff, though?
Some teams will. Some teams live and die by what they do.
Their philosophy.
Yeah, they just like prime examples like Iowa. Iowa's been running quarters for like 30 years. Like I know
Right.
guys who I've scouted guys and I've worked with guys who played for Ferentz and like they've been doing the same thing for like 30 years. They live and die by it. That's just what they do, right? They're not a big doubling team, but teams are smart. You just double them and say, okay, if Brandon Aynes beat me, if McQueen, Chris Henry Jr. beat me in the passing game, I can live with that. If you run the ball for 300, cool. I'm good with that. Number 4, the best player on the field, the best player in the country, won't beat that, and that's what Texas and Michigan do. It's like, oh no,
And it
he's
worked.
super talented.
Texas
Don't
gave
let
him
him
some
be
fits.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
because Texas also
And
has
Michigan.
a really good front seven. Like Texas and
Yeah.
Michigan, so now you can pull a guy out of the box and still stop the run. That's why Ohio State struggles versus me watching them versus Indiana. They struggle because Indiana can either cover or pull 2 out and still be good in the front. So I think teams who have solid fronts will take that chance and put 2 on them, maybe 3. You put a corner press and then you point them inside to a backer and he safety over the top of all of it. Because like you have to honor and respect it. Because if not, you will get torched. Like he's proven it. He's proven it in double coverage. Sometimes that's
Yeah.
not enough. So
Right.
single coverage is like, why even take that chance? So I yeah, more teams should do it, but they won't because they're stubborn.
Right.
Oh,
They're
oh,
stubborn.
he's just a guy. He's not that good. There's some
Yep.
coach lying to their players right now about this kid. Lying. Like, oh no. We can cover him 101. All you gotta do is play this technique. He struggles with this technique. Okay.
Right. The fact
We
that
can
we're
hire this
having
kid
this
on ESPN.
conversation, the fact we're having the fact we're having this conversation, I think expresses to you guys just how good Jeremiah Smith is. This guy, again, number 1 on the 1st and 10 big board. But yeah, you guys let us know in the comment section below. Jeremiah Smith, is he worth the hype? Is he overrated? What are your thoughts on him? Let us know down below and hit that like and subscribe button. All right, guys. The moment we've all been waiting for, our top 10s. So how we're going to do this is we'll do 10 through 6 and then 5 to 1. And then we'll just kind of cover through these guys really quick. The 2027 NFL draft is flooded with wide receiver talent. Today, top 10 wide receivers. B-Ross, 10 through 6. Go ahead and list them out for me.
Ooh, 10, Mario Craver. 9, TJ Moore. 8, Ryan Williams. 7, Cooper Barkate. 6, Bryant Westcott.
I love the Cooper Barkett implement. All right, number 10, Wyatt Young. Number 9, Ryan Williams. Wyatt Young. Number 9, Ryan Williams. 8, TJ Moore. 7, KJ Duff. 6, Charlie Becker. Go ahead and briefly cover Mario Craver. He's one of the more, he's not on my board just because he's 5'9", 165. I think he's got a ways to go, but I can understand why.
I just needed some diversity on my board. I'm like, bro, all these dudes are tall, bro. I'm like, no,
Right.
who is the best short player? I'm like, it's Mario Craver. Like, he's explosive, he's fast, he's twitched up. I watched the Florida game and they were trying to double him. They were trying their best to double him, and he's running past dudes. Like, he's running past double teams. Like, can't touch him at the line. And like the way I see it is, everyone says, oh, well, he's small, you can press him. I don't think y'all understand how hard it is to press somebody who's shorter than you. It's very, very hard because you can't get hands on him. quick. They're laterally quick. He's explosive. He's twitched up. He's a good runner of the football. He's a guy you got to get him the ball. But to me, he's better than Branch from last year at Georgia because he can win downfield. Like he can win on the outside. He can win on the perimeter. It's just he's just not a big body, but he is going to have a role in the NFL. And like I said, everybody else on this list, I'm like, is extremely tall, big. Like this is a big class of receivers. Big class. It is some big dudes. I'm talking about 6'5", 6'6", multiple guys who I'm like I like, but if I needed a play, who am I going? I'm going to do who nobody can catch on the field. Just get him the ball. So yeah,
Totally fair.
That's why I put him at 10. I love the Wyatt Young call.
Yes, Wyatt Young. Drew Mestemaker's buddy.
I love it,
bro. This guy was nasty this past year. 70 catches, 1,264 yards. He's transferring with Drew Mestemaker to Oklahoma State. He realizes where his money's getting paid. This guy's smart. 6 foot, 195. He's a slot exclusive guy. You're not going to play him on the outside. He wins and thrives in the slot. Reminds me a little bit, Jahan Dotson a little bit, some Cooper Kupp vibes a little bit. He's somebody that is just smart, finds holes in zone, reliable, catches everything, shifty in open space, tough to bring down. He's not going to blow you away with his athleticism, but he's got some burst. He's got some twitch a little bit. He is, again, only a slot guy. Probably won't be drafted round 1. But, man, I tell you what, if I'm a team that drafts Drew Mestemaker, whether it's next year or the year after, I'm looking at Wyatt Young and I'm saying, let's just keep the trend going a little bit because this guy's great. And, I didn't think I was going to love him so much because this class is stacked with talent. Ryan Wing goes not on either one of our lists.
Really good.
Mike Matthews is not on our list either. I like Jace Brown a lot. Cooper Barkett, by the way, number 11 for me. I love Cooper Barkett, so I'm right there with you. Let's go right to him. Cooper Barkett, where are you at with him? We talked about him in last year's draft class. Now he transfers to Miami. Go ahead.
So people got to remember, he started at Harvard, graduated 3 years, transferred to Duke, graduated with his master's. Jerry Mensah goes to Miami. He said, hey, I'm going with my guy. I know where my money is, just like you said with Wyatt. No, so the more I watched him, the more I like him because he's not the fastest, he's not the most explosive. He's strong and he catches everything. He knows how to get open. He's a decisive but manipulative route runner. Like is nothing flashy to his game. He knows how to get open, catch the football. Like to me, he's not he reminds me of in the mold of like Puka and Cooper Kupp, where you're like, they're not the best athlete. They just get open. And next thing you know, they have 1,200 yards receiving. And you don't understand how. Well, because they catch 10 for 12 to 15 yards consistent. Like he's very consistent. That's why I have him at 7. I'm just like, I can count on him. I know exactly what I'm kind of getting. And the athlete isn't bad. Like he's a big dude. He's 6'1", about 200 to 210, good size, good length. He can win at all 3 levels, but he excels in the short to intermediate. Like he excels. He can play outside, play inside. I think he's better inside than outside. But to me, it's like knowing exactly what you're getting and being so happy that you got it. Like that's Cooper Barkett.
100%. I mean, we had those same conversations about hidden gems last year. It was like, yeah, he just gets open. He catches everything. Won't blow you away necessarily, but he'll be a guy that's in the league for a long time. Yep. Let's talk about Ryan Coleman Williams, my number 9, your number 8, 6 foot, 175, 180, somewhere around that range. We're talking about an explosive athlete, somebody that can win down the field. We all saw the Georgia plays, man. This guy can win downfield. He's fast. He's athletic, can take a screen to the house. He's got a lot of stuff to clean up on, though. After his freshman year, we wanted to put him in the same bubble as Jeremiah Smith and Cam Coleman. He's not really in that bubble anymore, right? He's in the back of our top 10. He has a good chance of working his way up our boards with a productive season because it's hard to teach speed, athleticism, explosiveness, playmaking. He can do all that stuff, but he has to catch the ball. He struggled with drops last year. He needs to add some muscle to his frame, show a bit more physicality, and just be a bit more consistent, be more involved in that Alabama game plan because at times it was much more of the Jeremy Bernard show. It's got to be the Ryan Williams show. The good news for him, another year in the system, new quarterback. I don't think he ever had a great connection with Ty Simpson. So I think I expect a bigger and better role for him. because he can play on the slot, he can play on the outside. More comfort, playing a bit more confident will go a long way for Ryan Williams. So that is Ryan Coleman Williams. I'll let you tackle TJ Moore, the Clemson wide receiver, who for myself is at my number 8, and for you is at number 9. I wanted to like him a lot, but I ended up liking his teammate a little bit more. So
West
that's why I
Coast,
have him a
yeah,
little bit lower. But
yeah,
where are you at with him right now?
yeah. He's another big body guy. I just thought he was a very just ordinary route runner in terms of creating separation, but he has soft hands, good length, um, play strong. He can make some phenomenal catches, but
Yeah.
he can make the routine catches look hard, and that just kind of bothered me because like it's whether it's tracking or framing the ball, something like there's a disconnect at times with him catching the football. But you're talking about a dude. To me, he was better once he caught the ball. Like he was a better football player, better athlete. He looked more explosive. He looked stronger as a runner of the football than he was as a route runner. I think he has to clean that up a little bit. But he's a big dude who should be a red zone problem consistently in the red zone. But again, I think he has to play more to his size in the run game as a blocker, as a pass game, as a receiver. Like he has to play stronger than me. He has to play more to his frame and to his size. Um, to your point, I thought I was going to like him more, but I ended up liking Westco more watching them both play because I thought Westco did everything TJ didn't do. So, but
Right.
like him nonetheless. It's just I was expecting more and I didn't get it.
Yeah, he's a younger prospect, so he's still got a long way to go. But he is somebody that could win down the field. You can take some shots to him. He's just going to continue to ascend. I kind of hope he stays the full 4 years at Clemson, unless he takes a big step forward this year. I would like to
Right.
see him maybe just continue to grow and develop. But I'll talk about KJ Duff, who is not in your top 10, but
He's
he's
at
in my
11.
top 10 because
Uh,
he's 11.
he's at 11
He's
because I
good,
had.
man.
Go ahead.
6'6",
He's
225
so
pounds.
big.
Right off the bat, I mean
He's so big.
that's the draw. That's the draw. He's big enough to where like I don't want to count him out as a receiver. You could play him at tight end if you really
And
wanted him to.
that's why I put him at
Put
11.
put on 10 more pounds. You don't have to block. Just be Colston Loveland essentially. Like that's what he is. But you know what? For being 6'6", 225 pounds, while he's not going to run a 4.3 or anything crazy, I think he's a really good athlete. Like I think he runs, pretty clean routes. His issue is that he's not going to create a ton of separation because he's not able to get in and out of breaks fast enough. He's shown it at times that he can do it, but he's big and leggy that it's not like he's able to break down and just cut and make things like that like some of these other guys can.
Right.
But again, you can't teach 6'6", 225. I mean, that is such a matchup nightmare for corners. Like if you put him out there and he goes up against the New York Jets and you got D'Angelo Pons on him, who's 5'8", 5'7", it's tough. I mean, he's got a whole foot on the guy. So, KJ Duff has this big catch radius, big arms. I think his route running for his size is good enough. If he can just give me a little bit less of the rounding off on the cuts and things like that, because he can win those contested catches. He's got some of the best release off the line of scrimmage. I mean, he really knows how to get off the line, get off physicality. He can handle physicality. He's that vertical threat, and he had a big year last year for Rutgers, over 1,000 yards, and he's decided to stay at Rutgers. He didn't transfer; he stayed with them again, and I expect him to be in for a big year. So I have him at my number 7. Before we go into our top 5, I did want to just kind of give a few honorable mentions, a shout out really quickly. Ryan Wingo, right outside my list. More of an athlete more than anything. He's still got a ways to go as a receiver, but took a big step forward from year 1 to year 2. I think he'll complement Cam Coleman perfectly. Mike Matthews was somebody I wanted to buy a bit more. 5-star, good pedigree, but Tennessee, man, it's tough.
Yep.
Because I liked Chris Brazel a lot, and I was like, oh yeah, Chris can play. But then Mike was like, I'm still just not there with him quite yet. Deuce Robinson, wasn't he a tight end converted to play receiver?
Yeah.
He's another just massive dude.
Massive human being.
We'll have to wait and see.
Well, and that's why I left KJ off because I might put him at 10 on my tight end list. Like history tells me the NFL is going to move him to tight end. Like history just tells me.
You don't see a lot of 6'6" receivers anymore.
No, Like you don't, because it's like, oh, I can get more out of you at the tight end position because now you really can be a matchup problem. Because now,
Right.
how do teams identify you, or are they treating you like a receiver? Are they treating you like, you know what I mean? So yeah, but Deuce was the same thing, just big body, huge.
Terrell Anderson from NC State transferring
NC
to
State,
USC. I
yeah,
liked him a lot. I just felt like his size and athletic profile is elite, but he was just never really maximized at NC State. I think with
fair.
USC and Lincoln Riley, he could be really good. Emmett
He should be.
Mosley was really good with Stanford, was banged up a lot last year for Texas, but I
Yep.
think Texas is going to use him as sort of that big slot. I think that's going to work out great for him. And then Eric Singleton, just a really shifty athlete that moves very well. He
Yeah.
almost was in my top 10 because I think he's a hell of a player. But
Yes.
let us now hop into our top five. Birash, you're up first. Who is your 5 to
Ooh.
1?
At 5, I have Charlie Becker. 4, Omarion Miller. 3, Nick Marsh. 2, Cam Coleman. 1, Jeremiah Smith.
Number 5 for me is Bryant Wesco. 4, Amarian Miller. 3, Nick Marsh. 2, Cam Coleman. And number 1, Jeremiah Smith. I'll take Charlie Becker, and then I'll let you go with Bryant Wesco so you can get both the Clemson guys. Charlie Becker for me is at 6. He is at 5 for you. You're talking about somebody who had a bit of a breakout year towards the end with Indiana. There was a game, let me get the exact stats right here for him. There was a game where I believe it was Elijah Surratt that was out, and Charlie
He's
Becker was
hurt.
asked to kind of fill his
Mm-hmm.
role, and he balled out in that game. It was against, I think it was Penn State or Wisconsin, one of those two games, but he had both those games at over 100 yards. It wasn't until they played Ohio State, and then the rest of the playoffs, while his sample size of targets and looks was limited, he only had 8 catches through 3 games in the playoffs. It was the plays that he made, though. The back shoulder fades, the fact that he was able to stretch the field vertically. He is probably maybe the best back shoulder fade guy in this class. He catches everything when it's thrown his way.
He does.
And look, you're going to hear the comparison, and I feel as if I hate making this comparison, but Alec Pierce is very similar to this guy,
Cool.
6'4", 200 plus pounds, who is a vertical threat, can win downfield. Like Alec Pierce and Charlie Becker, I get it. They're white guys that look kind of similar, but the play style is pretty similar. They can win downfield. They can win some back shoulders.
That's not a
They
bad
can catch
comparison.
things they probably shouldn't catch, and they're big and they're strong.
Yeah.
And these past few years, he's been playing alongside Omar Cooper and Elijah Surratt. Now he gets to play with him and Nick Marsh, which I think is going to be an awesome pairing with each other. Just
Really
two
good
like
parent.
complementary pieces. But he's a playmaker, man. Ball tracking is great. Winning those contested catches, big catch radius. A lot to like about Charlie Becker. Plus, he played a lot of special teams in his first year, so I think there's some value there as well. Bryant Wesco, though, I'll let you go on him.
Yeah, man. He was fun to watch. He reminded me of Marquez Valdez Scantling when he came out of South Florida. Long, about like plays outside, but build the speed guy. But when he goes, he can go. Like he had to average close to 20 yards catch. Like he can stretch the field vertically, tracks the ball well downfield. Like he's not as good as Charlie Becker in terms of like the contested stuff, but when you're talking about making the tough over the shoulder deep ball catches, tracking the ball in tight windows, like Westco can do it. Really good separator at the top of routes. Like he can run, like, and it's not as explosive, but it's very just long stride. He's like a gazelle. Like he covers ground and he doesn't lose speed coming out of breaks. That's why I really love him because it's hard to tell when he's going to drop his weight and go because it's just one smooth long stride. He is a smaller frame guy, but I have him higher than some other guys because he doesn't play small. He doesn't
Yeah.
play small. I love that. Like it's just that's what God gave him. That's what he has. But he plays physical. He plays strong. He runs the ball stronger. He catches the ball stronger than what his frame might suggest. Like to me, this is what Ryan Williams should be. This is what Ryan's
Fair.
like. He should be in that mold, but he's not as strong. Um, Westco did struggle with some drops this year, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's a huge concern. I think a lot of these guys drops watching all this tape is it's a lot of this concentration stuff. Like they're trying to make plays before they have the ball, right? Like they're catching on the move and they're not focused on the ball. So I don't think his hands are an issue. I think he catches the ball really well. I think he has a really good catch radius. Um, it'd be interesting to see kind of with the new quarterback situation in at Clemson how both of these guys look at Clemson and how they use him because to me he's the guy you put in the slot and you have him take the top off as well as play him outside. But they didn't play him in the slot a lot, so it'd be interesting to see
Yeah.
how they use him. But he's a really good football player, really good football player.
Yeah, he also had the injury too. I think it was a spinal injury, something like that. But I've heard that he should be good to go. So we'll keep tabs on that.
Yeah,
Um, I'll cover Amari Miller. Played at Colorado the past couple years. Now transfers over to Arizona State, where I think this is such a good spot for him to land at.
Hines Ward's going to get him right. Oh,
Right, because this is an
man.
offense that's like they will force feed you. They force fed
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Tyson. They force fed Cam Scatabo. Amari Miller's gonna be their most talented guy. They're going to force feed the hell out of this guy, which is great for him.
Man.
But at Colorado, he never was able to fully maximize his time there with Shador Sanders. Both years, like he showed flashes, he played good. I
Yeah.
think he had an injury at times as well, but it was flashes, right? Last year with bad quarterback play, with a not a great Colorado team, he had over 800 yards, was very productive, had a great year. 6'2", 210 pounds, just a really good athlete. Big time vertical threat, can make some wild contested catches, great release off the line of scrimmage. I think he's a good route runner. I think he's a very smart player as well. He does have the drops, and when he's not the focal point of the offense, this guy just checks out. Like he's like,
Yeah.
fuck it. I ain't in the game plan. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Arizona State, that won't be a problem because they are going to give you 10 targets a game and you're going to be a big part of that offense. So he's got to clean that up. Needs to add a little bit more to his route tree because, at Colorado, they just asked him to do some very basic stuff. But at Arizona State, we saw Jordan Tyson be one of the best route runners in college last year. So I think Miller can be that next big guy. I love the landing spot for him. I think he'll be maximized there. That is why, for both of us, by the way, both of us have the exact same top four. I think we probably see him pretty closely. Just high
Yeah.
upside, big time ceiling. I think he'd be a great fit in the NFL as like a really high end second option. Pair him up with a superstar. I mean, he'd be that athleticism, that athletic profile is really good. But
Hines
I'll
Ward
let
is going to
you
Hines Ward's going to get him right. Like for all the
100%.
flaws he has, like Hines Ward, as good as Jordan Tyson thought he wasn't coming from Colorado, he got 10 times better once he got
Under
a
Hines
Hall of
Ward.
Fame receiver.
I forgot about that. I
Coaching him.
forgot he was at.
Yeah,
I forgot he went to
yeah.
Colorado.
He went to
Well, here
Colorado
we go.
first. It's same thing, and he's going to say like, "Do you see what I did with Jordan Tyson? Listen to me,
Yep.
listen and follow." So
All right.
yeah,
I'll let you go with Nick
who we
Marsh
got?
here.
Yeah, man. This is you talking about size, frame, going from playing with a probably mediocre to bad offense, bad quarterback play to playing now with Signetti and Josh Hoover and Charlie Becker at Indiana, a winning team. He's going to have more to play for. Nick Marsh is an X receiver with size and length, speed. Um, he reminds me a little bit of Brian Thomas when he came out of LSU. I remember
Yeah,
scouting
yeah.
him. He puts me in that frame of mind in terms of player comparisons. I think he has better hands than Brian Thomas. I didn't think Brian Thomas could catch. I thought he was a body catcher too much. But Nick Marsh, hands catcher, good, really good catch radius. He's a strong runner of the football once he catches the ball. That's why I think I like him in this third spot because once he gets the ball in his hand, he becomes a running back with the football. For a taller guy, that's hard for a lot of guys to do. But he's looking to make things happen after the catch. Again, a lot of these guys they struggled with drops last year for one reason or another. He did have some drops, but again, I actually like his hands. I don't think drops are a real issue or a concern. What he's going to excel at for Indiana is being a wide receiver one to win contested catches, to win those jump balls, and to be a present threat in the red zone, predicated on timing because of the RPO
Yep.
and the play action game. It's predicated on timing. And so I think as a route runner, he is naturally going to get better doing that because it's just that's what it requires. Like you have to be on time in order to get the ball. So no, Nick Marsh, hell of a player, size, length, he's explosive. It's just he's not explosive or has the size of the next two guys in front of him. That's why he's at 3. Like in a lot of draft
Yep.
classes, he's probably 1 or 2 in a lot of draft classes. Just not this one because of the other two guys, which is crazy.
100%. Let's start talking about those two. I'll take Cam Coleman and I'll let you cover Jeremiah Smith. Cam Coleman,
Cool beans.
6'3, 201 pounds, went from Auburn to the Texas Longhorns. And it's a perfect transfer. I mean, he had a lot of
It
offers
is.
out there. I think Bama was interested. I think A&M, Texas Tech was interested. They all would have been good fits for him because, I mean, any of those teams have better quarterbacks than what Auburn had with Jackson Arnold. But he goes to Texas. He plays with who I think is the best quarterback. Well, maybe will be the best quarterback in the country next year in Arch Manning. You know, he gets to play next to Ryan Wingo and Emmett Mosley, both guys who,
Yeah.
if we do this list again in the midseason or after the season, they very well could be in our top tens too. That's how
Yeah.
talented this team is. Plays the better offensive line, plays with some good running backs. He's going to be in a good spot there. Steve Sarkisian in this offense needs to get the ball down the field. Arch's best quality is the deep shots. He loves taking shots down the field. They didn't have those guys last year. Now you get that guy in Cam Coleman who can be that just boundary receiver who can take some shots down the field. But even beyond that, he does a lot more than that. He's 6'3, 200 pounds, great length, big time catch radius. I think he's a really good route runner. I think he's smooth. He's hard to bring down. He's tough, after the catch. He's just a really big, strong dude with a good release. Not a lot of major flaws, just besides some concentration drops. Some questions about, is he a bit underdeveloped because of Auburn and their inability to maximize his potential? But
Yeah.
he has the body type, the athletic profile, and the upside to be one of the best receivers the second he gets into the NFL. And his best football won't be at Texas. It wasn't at Auburn. It'll be when he gets to the NFL, when he gets to a team that's going to use and know exactly how to use him. Because, man, this guy's going to be great at Texas. I think he'll be in for 1,000-yard plus. That'd be a really good year for him. So, yeah, Cam Coleman, keep an eye on him. Him at Texas is a perfect fit, and I expect a big year out of him. But he's not our number one. He's at number one, Mr. Jeremiah Smith. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's been the best receiver in the country probably the last 3 years since he stepped foot on a hospital since he stepped foot on a college football field as I think he was 17 actually, which is crazy. And he dominated, early and often. So Jeremiah Smith, 6'3", 223. Crazy part is he's probably gonna run 4.3 if he even runs.
Right.
If
He
I'm
probably
him,
won't,
I
but he
wouldn't
could.
run. Yeah. If he wants to compete and run 4.3, he'll do it. If not, no one in the NFL is going to care. He's that good. He can sit out this year. He's a top 5 pick. That's how good he is. Like he's Jamar Chase coming out of college good. Like he's really, really that good. He's strong. He's athletic. He's explosive. Um, he's a guy who he has to keep developing as a route runner because he does rely on his speed and just pure athleticism and strength at times as a route runner, opposed to using just the mechanics of route running in terms of being deceptive um, with his feet, his hips, his head. But all that being said, this dude is going to be a wide receiver one in the NFL. He's going to be a problem. Um, where his issues lie come with versus press coverage at times, and it comes versus double teams. And I think he has to get comfortable being double. You can tell he gets frustrated when he's not involved because he's getting so many doubles, but he has to learn how to work through that because the best receivers are always going to get double. So you're talking about a dude again, probably since you can argue 2024, but 25, 26, he was definitely the best receiver in the country in terms of NFL draft prospects. So the crazy part is he still hasn't reached his ceiling. That's the scary part about Jeremiah Smith. As good as he is, he's played inside, he's played outside, 1,000-yard seasons. He's seen a bunch of different coverages. He still hasn't hit his ceiling. His head is nowhere near his ceiling, which is scary because he's that good. He's strong. He's athletic. I mean, physically, it's nothing. It's nothing he can't do. It's just a matter of him staying involved mentally at times and challenging himself to be a more demanding present when teams are. Because if teams are smart, they're going to try and eliminate him immediately and often. So he has to learn how to work through that kind of stuff. But we're talking about almost like very little flaws in the game. He's much like his teammate Caleb Downs. Like I didn't. They just don't have much flaws. They've been good since they stepped on campus. So So the learning curve at the next level is going to be minuscule, I think, because they're just always good.
100%. All right, guys, let us know in the comment section below your top 10 wide receivers in the 2027 NFL draft. All right, guys, that is going to conclude this episode, our wide receiver previews. Please drop it in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on this class? How do you like the new format? We're going to be doing some new things in the channel, so please let us know down below. B-Ross, get us on out of here.
Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us on all major platforms: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, First and 10. Head over to the website, firstand10.net. Be sure to check us out there.